Angel Reese is going to be in season 2 of The Hunting Wives, as well as an animated movie called The GOAT, produced by Steph Curry. And the thing about Angel is that from the very beginning of her career, even before she went pro, she understood that what women's sports need to grow is stars that break containment. Even before Angel made her way into the WNBA while she was playing college ball, she took a narrative that was intended to villainize her and the rest of the LSU women's basketball team and turned it into objectively money. And the decisions that she has made with her career across the board from the very beginning are one of the reasons why she's one of the most talked about players in the WNBA, even though her team didn't even make the playoffs last year. Angel Reese declared her eligibility for the WNBA draft in Vogue. In addition to her original appearance in Vogue, she's since been on the cover of Vogue and appeared at the Met Gala. And she's continued to build businesses for herself outside of basketball. She's one of the few WNBA players with a shoe deal, and that's with Reebok, a shoe company where she is the only women's basketball player represented on their roster. And now she's making this move into acting. But The Hunting Wives in particular, I think, moves into this very different space, because this whole thing seems to be sparked by Angel Reese watching the show and talking about it. After she posted that she had watched the show, a number of people from the show's creative team saw it and talked about it as well. And then Angel said, "Let me know if you need me for season 2, which it seems like she did ultimately manifest and make true. Personally, I can't wait to see how she fits into a show this chaotic, but I also think it points out something that is really important about women's sports, whether it's fair or not. And that's that with men's sports, stars are able to actually focus on their sport and endorsement deals until the end of their career. Generally speaking, a lot of these stars move into their commentating roles or acting roles or cameo roles at the end of their career or pretty deep into it. But what we're seeing consistently with women's sports is that these athletes have to do it at the same time. Ilona Maher talked about this on a podcast called Welcome to the Party recently, where she said that even though she's the most well-known player in women's rugby, she wouldn't consider herself the best player in the sport. And she talked about the fact that women's rugby needs more stars than just her. Because with a lot of sports right now, the way you get new fans into them is by an individual's story or star power. And when it comes to women's sports in general, what we need are more stars that people are aware of. Names that people know even if you aren't a fan of that sport. Angel Reese is doing that right now with women's basketball. And while I do think it's an unfair burden that we absolutely see lopsided on the women's sports side, I also think it's part of what has pushed women's sports so far so fast. A lot of these female athletes have made the effort of building their social media platforms to a level where they're getting other opportunities. And those opportunities and fame and their ability to sort of escape the narrative of just their sport then bring in new fans and new viewers of the sport itself. If we could start to have more people like Angel Reese in the WNBA and replicate that success across other women's sports like women's lacrosse, the new women's baseball league, women's softball, women's hockey, I think you'll see this big growth that we're seeing across all of women's sports become even bigger as people become attached to those athletes. And so I'm curious for you, has there been a women's athlete that has kind of escaped containment and been the first reason why you found out about a sport?